welcome to today's lesson. For today's English lesson, we are doing writing, and what we're looking at under writing is correcting errors. By the time we finish the lesson, you should be able to correct some common errors in an essay, and you should be able to write your own essay and check it for errors. Now, some of us write our essay and just submit it directly straight to our teachers. We don't take our time to read through it after we've written the essay. But it's very important for us to do so because we tend to lose marks because we haven't checked for errors. And here are a list of some of the common errors that we make whilst we're writing our essays. The first one on the list is spelling errors. Now, sometimes you make a mistake spelling a word because you don't know how to spell it. But in other occasions, you make a mistake spelling a word because your hand was faster than your mind, and so your hand wrote the word anyhow, and your mind didn't take the time to go through it. So that is one reason why you lose marks in your essay. Remember that for every spelling mistake you make, half a mark is subtracted or deducted from your work. Which means that if you make 10 spelling mistakes, you have got 0/5 out of your mechanical accuracy. So it's very important that you check your spelling errors before you submit the work. Then another issue that we always have is wrong punctuations, missing full stops, wrong capitalization, missing question marks, or commas in the wrong places. These are all errors that we make in our writing. Another set of errors that we make is known as the wrong amalgamation. Now, some words are written together, whilst other words are written apart. For example, a word like in fact. Some people write in fact as INFACT, one word, but that is wrong. In fact is two words. You don't join into the fact to make in fact. Likewise, there are some words which are supposed to be written together, but we write them apart. And that is known as wrong amalgamation. Then, wrong diction, choosing the wrong words to describe something. That's also another issue that we tend to have when it comes to errors. Then, concord, subject-verb agreement. And then lastly, the wrong use of objective and subjective cases of pronouns. Now we're going to look at each of these cases, an example of each of these cases, so you get a clearer picture of what it is we are talking about. So, let's start here. Wrong diction. Now, look at this sentence here. It says, we drove a bike. We drove a bike. Now, the word drove is not used in reference of bikes. It should rather be we rode a bike. And so if you write we drove a bike, you get marks subtracted from your score expression. Whereas this is correct. Concord errors. We was instead of we were. And this also occurs very often in your writing. Wrong use of objective and subjective cases of pronouns. Look at this first example. He gave the book to I. That is wrong. Instead of he gave the book to I, it should be he gave the book to me. Because it's an objective pronoun. And here, me, I don't like is also wrong. It should be I don't like alone, because I here is the subject, so subjective case of the pronoun. Let's look at some more errors. Spelling errors. Receive. Look at the way he has spelled receive here. Receive here. R-E-C-I-E-V-E instead of R-E-C-E-I-V-E. There are some words which are very tricky, like receipt, deceive, and so on and so forth. So please take your time and learn the spelling of those words correctly. Then punctuation errors. How are you? Full stop. Instead of how are you? Question mark, because it's a question. That would also make you lose some marks. Here's an example of wrong amalgamation as well. Look, in spite instead of in spite. and then indeed instead of indeed. So these are all examples of errors that occur in our essays. Now we're going to go to the CBA Learning Zone. There's an essay there, and you're to find all the errors in the essay. Click on the errors so that it is highlighted, and then after that we'll come and see what the essay should really have looked like. Okay, so I'll see you after your exercise.